Yes, we've returned to Boulevard Bowl for the 8th time. Today, again for the $250,000 Choice Hotel Summer Classic and Challenge. From the very start of the 56-game format, there's been a capacity crowd every day. Hello again, I'm Chris Schenkel. Our format today is just a little bit different. Nelson Burton will be explaining that in a moment. But let's go back a week to David Ozio and Mike Albee in Wichita. 300 to 279. Bittersweet.
Well, I was just blessed to be a part of that. You know, it's part of history that I'm glad to be involved in, and I'll always remember it.
Let's go back and take a look at what happened in the final frames. 300 to 279. Highest score ever, PBA history. That includes all our telecasts.
Well, Mike's pushing me. Every shot's a must shot, and I mean, I want every ball. I want to win the tournament. I wasn't even thinking 300. And, you know, I'm just got my heart into it, my soul into it. And when it come to this shot here, I just threw the ball a little bit too hard and kind of got a bad break. 5 went behind the 7, and the rest is history.
Disappointed, but what I was so amazed about you in particular is the fact that here you had a spare, but you went on to strike out. Now, here's a big 10th frame for Mike Albee.
Well, after doing the job, my job is to strike out. And if there was ever a person I'd want to be in a 10th frame, not be against, was Mike Albee or Walter Ray Williams. He's got the heart of a lion and just a gut champion, and my hat's off to him. That shot made him the winner of the tournament. Well, when he threw that shot, I was pulling for him all the way to shoot 300. He threw these next 3 shots just so awesome. I mean, shows the caliber of player that he is.
A long time watching, though, wasn't it, David?
Well, it seemed like an eternity, but this shot right here, I don't think I've ever pulled for anybody as hard as I could right here, and I knew he could throw it, and when I saw the ball arc at the pocket, I knew it was history.
So there it is, 300, 279 replayed after a week's lapse, and we congratulate you. You're a gracious runner-up.
Well, it's just, I'm proud to be a part of it.
Hell of a champion, too.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to another champion, my colleague, David Ozio here. Now here's Nelson Burton Jr., Bo.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. That was a special moment. However, this week we have a special format. We have 2 senior players combined with 3 touring players. Now, 5 senior players qualified for this week's action through a point system devised over 8 tournaments on the 1993 tour. And Gary Dickinson bowled Don Johnson in the first preliminary match off camera. Johnson playing the inside line, the Hall of Famer. Dickinson never got on track. Dickinson 162. He was the local favorite. Then Don Johnson went against Big Gene Stus. Stus has a terrific record on the seniors tour, and he was awesome in his match against Johnson. Stus playing the extreme outside line, overpowered the pins, and put away Johnson with a 202. Then the big match of all, Gene Stus against John Hersina. This is to qualify for today's championship match. Hersina off to a horrible start. Stus got right on top of him, and Stus continued his striking ways. Stus eliminating Hersina 215 to 182 to set up the seniors championship match, and that will be John Handegard against Gene Stus. After that, we'll see the touring players enter the match play competition. Then it will be, in the first match, Steve Jaros, who's won this championship before from Illinois. He'll be going against Ted Hannes. Ted's solid player, determined to win. And our tournament leader, a man who's never been there before, Kevin McGerr. Now, after we determine a Choice Hotel Classic champion for $38,000, the winner of the first match, the king of the hill of the championship of the seniors, he'll bowl against the champion of the Choice Hotel Classic. Well, Chris, there's a lot of money at stake and interesting format.
There really is for both the seniors and the regular touring professionals. Here you see 7,500, 5, 25, 25. Those are the 3 that were eliminated earlier today. So here in this first match, the winner will receive 7,500. John Handegard going against Gene Stus. And an opportunity for the winner to go on to the challenge. Here we go. Shake of the hand. Go 5. And John Handegard will shoot first. The point leader. He's also the average leader, money earned leader on the senior tour. Down on his knees, begging that shot with it.
Well, Chris, John Handegard at age 55 is just in tremendous physical shape, as Gene Stus. 2 dramatically different styles, in that Stus is the upright, powerful man with the powerful style, Handegard the classic style.
Gene watching his opponent, Gene from Allen Park, Michigan.
Well, Stus with just a terrific power style, one of the real true power players on the Seniors Tour. 5-step delivery. He's a big man, gets that wrist cuffed up here, drives right on straight through to the foul line, and starts off with a terrific shot. Both players open with strikes.
High hit, leaving him the 3-6.
I think the biggest difference you see between the senior players and some of the younger touring players is really the knee bend. The older players cannot get down, and sometimes they'll pull the ball across their body, as Stus did on this shot, leaving the 3-6.
4 senior titles for the 240-pound right-hander. A little lighter at 175 and 2 years older is John Handegard, bowling out of Las Vegas. 7 senior titles. Elbow. The game is on. Double for Handegard, a strike and a spare for Stus.
Well, just completely classic style by Handegard. 4-step delivery, push away at the same time, straight wrist. Look at how well balanced he is as he drives through the foul line. Completely on balance. Notice the weight is slightly back on the heels. No pull on that shot. Plenty of solid carry as he opens with 2 strikes.
As recent as August 5th, this man won another senior title in California at Lakewood.
Therein you see somewhat, I think, the difference between the senior players again and the touring players. The senior players, without quite as much power as they get older, can't flip the 10 out. And I had the luxury of bowling both tours the last 2 years, and I think on the Seniors Tour they give you what we call a little more back end, where the ball breaks a little more on the Seniors Tour, and they can carry consistently.
We're at Richard Altman's 40-lane bowling establishment called Boulevard Bowl in the ever-expanding Edmond, Oklahoma. Beautiful area with lots of recreation sites. Now Stus. Scout didn't help him.
Didn't help him that time, Chris. And once again, you don't quite see the power that we see from the, let's say, the junior players out here. And remember, Gene Stus was in the Choice Hotel Challenge last year. He lost to Monticelli, and I believe he left 6 10 pins. And so let's see, he has to carry that today to be successful.
Okay, Gene Stus never bowled on the national tour as a younger man, but not because of lack of interest.
Well, I worked for General Motors in my early days, and I never had the opportunity to get out and get away and bowl on a regular tour. After I retired, I seen the opportunity. I had a chance to get out and came out on the seniors and doing very well.
Successful with strikes like that, a total of $145,000 earned. Gene Stus from Michigan. We're in Edmond. Nearby Oklahoma City's downtown area offers contemporary art form and, you know, modern architecture too.
I used pressure-treated lumber, and I still have $800 in water damage. How come?
Even treated wood needs Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofer. Without Thompson's, you're wide open for water damage. Thompson's. Don't wait until it's too late.
At the first tickly itch of athlete's foot, get the next. Killing those grungy fungi before they get cracking and burning. Go get that can now, or else don't blame Desonex.
When you're thirsty, you need a squirt. Because there's nothing like our refreshing blend of citrus flavors. Give your thirst a squirt.
The secret to a strong finish is endurance. New High Endurance. Just watch how a day's worth of our deodorant outlasts the leading stick even after 24 hours. For the longest lasting, the best deodorant stick, demand proof. Get New High Endurance from Old Spice.
We're live at Boulevard Bowl in Edmond, Oklahoma. 2 great senior professional bowlers are going head-to-head in this first match. 10 pins separating Handegard and Stus. John, who's bowling now, leads by 10. Opened with a double, marked with a spare, and now a strike. John's a journeyman on the national tour. He's become a regular on the senior tour, and here's why he's so successful.
Well, I think there are really two reasons. One of the reasons is nutrition. I've learned a lot about food and keeping myself in better shape. And the other is I've learned more about bowling in the last 6 or 7 years than I did in the first 25 or 30.
Chris, and I've been impressed with the changes he's made in his game. He's much more disciplined.
And despite the split, the form is always there. What happened on that shot?
One drawback, John Handegard, he had it when he was a little bit younger out on the Pro Tour. As you see the ball drifting high, leaving the 4, 6, 7 with speed. John has always had medium speed, and when he plays that outside line, he's susceptible to the high hit. There he succumbs to it. He has an open frame.
Yeah, covering 2 pins, and it just tightens up the match now. This man is leading by 2 as a result of the open frame, and he has a strike up, so he can go up by 12.
Surprised at that hit, an apparent good hit with the sharp breaking ball. Stus leaves the 4 at 10. He could have knocked out at least the 4 or the 10. He needs to get the ball to the left of the 4 pin and drive the 4 right on over into the 10. Very tough shot. He may just go for 9.
Hoping it would do the trick. So now, back-to-back open frames, one by each senior professional here in Edmond, Oklahoma. Ted Hanna's, Steve Jaros are staying loose off to the right. You'll be seeing the regular tour pros after this game. But interesting to see these two in their 50s looking so great still, in such wonderful form.
Handegard with a 10-pin lead, 6 frame.
Leaving a 10-pin on the right lane.
John Handegard made the big change in the mid-70s. He used to roll a full roller. That's where the ball rolled between the thumb and finger holes. That was great on the old lacquer conditions of the 60s. However, he had to get that roll outside the thumb. He has developed what we call a semi-roller, has become much more successful, and at the senior level, he is one of the dominant players.
John's best finish on the regular tour was in 1978 in Salt Lake City, where he finished 2nd. But as we said, he has 7 senior.
See the track on his ball. See the oil where he's putting his index finger right there. That's what I said. He's gotten his roll outside the fingers and thumb. That's improved his game. Right now, 10-pin lead, 7th frame.
The winner of this first match goes on to the challenge match following the Classic Championship game for a lot of money. More about that later. First, though, you know, locally, Kirkpatrick Museum has a display which illustrates that technology even affects how children play.
Look out, America. The Choiceosaurus Sweepstakes is here. You could win $1 million or one of 7 $50,000 cash prizes. Pick up an entry form at any Quality, Comfort, Clarion, or Sleep Hotel, and you could be a winner, too.
We just won $50,000. Thanks, Comfort Inn.
The $1 million prize is still at large. Will Choiceosaurus bring it to you? Call 1-800-4CHOICE because offers like this happen once every 60 million years.
Recently, one of Subway's best customers suggested we offer our turkey breast sub with chips and a drink at a special price. He also suggested a name for this meal deal breakthrough. Abundant food consumables with potato wafers and enlarged fluid unit. Not bad, but we call it the mass quantities meal deal. It's for anyone who has a hearty appetite. Or like my friend here, comes from France.
Get a Coneheads Collector Cup with a mass quantities meal deal at Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
While supplies last.
Some things are worth dying for.
People down here feel some things are worth killing for.
Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe, Mississippi Burning, Sunday, parental discretion advised.
And here in Edmond, trailing by only 10, but if he strikes, it'll be even. Let's go down and hear from Bo Burton. We'll wait to hear from Bo.
Okay, thank you, Chris. With me is Ted Hannes and Steve Jaros. You'll be bowling the first match in the Choice Hotels Classic. Ted, what do you think of these seniors out here?
I think it's very exciting to bowl with the seniors. I know I bowl with Gene Stus and John Racina in the regional program, so I'm used to it, and hopefully I'm ready for it.
They're pretty tough. How about it? Do they have any effect on your game, Steve?
I don't think it will, because I'm still out here to do a job, and we just got to take care of the task at hand, one game at a time.
Okay, Chris, the seniors are finishing up with their championship. Then it'll be the touring players. Next match.
That's right. We're all even now in this match between Gene Stus of Allen Park, Michigan, 53 years old, and his opponent, John Handegard of Las Vegas. Now on the left lane, take a 10-pin lead with a 3-bagger. So back and forth the battle goes here. The winner, remember, goes into the challenge match worth $25,000 to the winner. One of these two will meet the Summer Classic champion. Surprise.
Oh, John says, how can that happen? I needed that strike to tie up the match through 8 frames. I need the solid stoned 8. He couldn't have asked to throw it any better. Apparent good hit. Ball drives through the 1-3. The head pin and the 2-pin collide, and they chop the 5 straight off the 8. Bad break for Handegard. He'll make the spare, but he'll trail by 10 with just 2 frames to go.
Okay, next Saturday on ABC Sports, top athletes from around the globe gather in Germany for one of the year's biggest international events. It's the World Track and Field Championships. Coverage begins next Saturday at 3 o'clock, 2 Central on ABC Sports, and this is a special telecast.
9th frame, Handegard, the foundation frame, needs to set up a strike to put the pressure on Stus. From that extreme outside line that all the players are playing today, if you get the ball too wide out near the channel, it snaps much sharper than if you keep it right around the first arrow. So Handegard, there you see it right there as the replay shows. He gets it out to about the 2nd board and it goes high. If he had gotten it around the 3rd board, there's a little more oil there, it would have set up. Mandatory that he makes the spare. Look out.
Bounced at the line, and the result, another open.
Uncharacteristic of John Handegard. He prides himself on not making any mistakes. You see him sliding by the 6-pin, just chopping off the 10, and Gene Stus can slam the door if he strikes here in the 9th frame.
What could be worse, Bo?
Well, he's going to even the match up right away here. There's something that had to be going through Stus's mind. In the earlier preliminary matches that we capsulized at the top of the championship round here today, Stus threw a gutter ball against Racina on 3 strikes in a row. He must have been thinking about that on that shot, pulled the ball, and he's left the match wide open.
As a result of a roll-off this morning, Gene Stus got into this first match against John Handegard, points leader, average leader, money leader on the senior tour. Both checking that score sheet.
Right, it's confusing when they get big opens after a turkey, but the situation is this. If Stus strikes 2 times and gets 3 pins, he wins. Otherwise, Handegard can throw a double to take it.
There is John, just looking straight down the pipe.
In double shock, Handegard sliding by the 6-10 in the 8th to open the door. and then Stus letting him slide in. But if Gene Stus can throw a strike right here, he only needs 3 pins to lock up the match. This is the shot. Chris Schenkel, this ball won't be close to the gutter. This will be down the middle. Gene Stus, if you throw this ball outside the first arrow, they ought to come down and tackle you. Can't take a chance with throwing it too wide. 3 pins can be gotten in a lot of ways, just down the middle, pal.
32 years quality control supervisor at General Motors. He wants some quality control right here. Ah, make it big. Okay, $7,500, and he'll go into the challenge match where he could win another $25,000. ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Here's one way to make your all-purpose vehicle a true all-terrain vehicle. Here's another Goodyear Wrangler GSA with triple traction, quiet highway traction, wet weather traction, off-road traction. It's like getting 3 tires in one. Wrangler GSA, only from Goodyear.
Usually Johnny sprays the Krylon spray paint and I get it on me. Not this time.
Look, no runs, no drips, no errors. Dries to the touch in minutes.
The other brand's tacky.
Good job.
I'm a pro.
For a fast, smooth, professional finish, get Krylon.
If you demand more from an aftershave than that same old alcohol burn, you gotta try a brand new aftershave. New Sensitive from Old Spice. It's alcohol-free because alcohol burns. That's why they took it out and put these new cooling sensates in for real refreshment to go with that great scent. It's proof aftershave doesn't have to hurt to work. So use New Sensitive and you might get burned. Take the heat out of aftershave. Demand proof. Try new alcohol-free Sensitive from Old Spice.
Saturday. His wife witnessed a crime.
How we doing?
I'll never forget his face. Oh my God, it's him.
She spotted the killer.
Well, I identified her.
We have to let him go.
Now is she the next victim? Saturday it's the commish.
Can Texaco System 3 gasolines help make a difference in performance?
System 3 performs in a car the way I perform in a car.
With System 3, anybody can perform like Mario Andretti, but not in my county.
Every grade of Texaco System 3 performs in cars both new and old.
They do? Well, no wonder we're getting the horsepower we should be getting. Is that right, Esty?
Count on System 3 for performance in your car.
Dad, can you drive like Mario Andretti?
Bowling in the USA. Bowling in the USA.
For a great time this week, join your friends at one of these fun-filled bowling centers.
Dennis Owens has the scores and more tonight on 27 News.
ABC Sports presentation of the Pro Bowlers Tour is brought to you by Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels. By Dr. Scholl's Insoles and Inserts. Make life in your shoes more comfortable with Dr. Scholl's. And by Pringles. So fresh, once you pop, you can't stop.
And here at Boulevard Bowl in Edmond, Oklahoma, Gene Stus has won the seniors match head-to-head against John Handegard, 202 to 183. So a little later, he'll be in the challenger match worth $25,000. But right now, Bo, we've got to set up how we have Steve Jaros and Ted Hannes in the first of the Touring Pro match.
You're right, Chris. 5 touring players qualified for today's action. We had some elimination matches earlier this morning off camera. And the first match was George Branham against David Ozio. Both players playing the extreme outside line. Look at where Ozio's playing. And the bad break in the match for Ozio was the 7-10 split in the 8th frame. It was his undoing. Branham red hot, just runs all over him. Now George Branham went against Steve Jaros to qualify for today's television match. Branham off to a good start. Then comes up in the 7th frame, solid strike. Jaros staying right with him. Jaros solid all the way through the match, eliminating George Branham III, the Tournament Champions champion, and now it'll be Jaros against Hannes, and there's a lot of prize money at stake here in the Classic, Chris.
There really is. $38,000 of the winner, 20 runner-up, 11, 8, and 6,500. So As you see, the previous losers, Branham and David Ozio, but right now battling for the championship in the semifinal match. Ted Hannes and Steve Jaros. Steve will shoot first, number 3 ranked in the long format.
Long format is right, Chris, and he needed all the games to get there. In games 54, 55, and 56 last night, he averaged a fabulous 273, shooting .830 for his last 3 games and getting himself in a position for the championship.
There's the young man that won the 1991 Choice Hotels Classic.
Now, Ted Hannes obviously pitching for a razor blade commercial here as the PBA has changed some of their image rules, allowing beards this year. I think it looks pretty good on him. Let's see how his bowling ball reacts, though. And that was kind of ugly that time. 3-6-9-10, a difficult split. As you see the style, the serpentine style of Ted Hannes. Drifts about 18 boards to the left. He's actually in pretty good position. He's going to play a big hook with a soft speed out between the second and third arrows. Doesn't get it wide enough. Tough spare to open a championship round with. Ted with that big drift. He'll walk completely over on his first 2 steps.
Well, the bearded one has marked with a spare. Ted is 6'2", 190 pounds, 36 years old, 3 national titles, and these 2 pros really have been busy on the regional schedule.
They bowl a lot of regional tournaments to stay in shape, Chris. You'll see the angle of Hannes. He's going to start here, roll there, and end up getting the ball right here. Watch this angle. But it works.
For 6-7-10, the man that flirts with the penalty clock. On time allowed to release the shot.
25 seconds, the maximum. You see 7 rounds of bowling there. All those rounds were 8-game rounds. The players were here for 6 days, 56 games. Hannes qualifying second. Right now, he's open with some suspect shots.
So that open coming in the second is he's bowling Steve Jaros of Bolingbrook, Illinois. 12 regional titles, 1 national. First tour stop for Steve since the United States Open in Canandaigua.
A very low maintenance style, Chris. I really like this. This kind of style can last a long time. He's not above his shoulder. Look, everything's in perfect position. He's going to pull that left arm back, and he glides right through the shot, medium speed. If there's anything that Steve Jaros has to learn to improve out here on the PBA Tour, is a little more speed control. He's terrific when he can roll the ball soft, and there's a lot of oil on the lanes, and that's the case here today.
Steve's 3rd national telecast. Ted Hannes from Zanesville, Ohio. It's his 19th. Second this year. He was 4th at the United States Open.
Teddy Bear, 25 seconds, pal, or you start off with a little fine. He's going to get it away with about 6 seconds.
Beautiful strike. Ted Hannes' bowling style is his trademark. He's decided not to tinker any further with success.
I developed my unique style by watching the pros bowl on TV on Saturday afternoons. When I was about 19 years old, I incorporated the drift into my style because of watching Roth, Holman, guys like that hooked the ball a lot. And it just fell into my pattern to hook the ball a lot and to drift to the left. I tried to change it one time and it was very unsuccessful, so I just went back to what worked.
Well, he must have had a weird push away to develop that much of a drift, but he's on line this time.
Ted Hannes, he and his wife Julie, parents of 3 children. We're in Edmonds, where agriculture is a part of the lifestyle here in the Oklahoma City area. Here's an example of a farm with some original buildings and fixtures still in place.
The average sumo wrestler weighs 420 pounds. The average person puts 9,000 times that much weight on their feet every day. The average shoe just wasn't designed to take this kind of pressure, which is why Dr. Scholl's didn't create the average insoles. Using space-age materials, Dr. Scholl's has created its new line of insoles and inserts to give your shoes revolutionary support, cushioning, and shock absorption. Make life in your shoes more comfortable with Dr. Scholl's.
Want a taste you can't resist? There's no bag chip you can pop like this. Chips and bags got busted pieces. Brings you down with all their greases. The Pringles can't stop. Pop, the Pringles can't. You got the stack, you got the bunch. For a whole lot of taste of the Pringles crunch. You got the duck-bill lizard too. Only Pringles rings taste like this to you. The Pringles can't stop. Pop, the Pringles can't. No can those bags of fresh whole chips. Nothing like Pringles crush your lips. Yeah, once you pop, you can't stop.
They can talk the talk.
Oh, you can see that!
They can walk the walk. But can they win the crown at the National Summer Basketball Championship next Saturday on ABC?
Trying to repeat in the Choice Hotels Summer Classic is 27-year-old Steve Jaros of Bolingbrook, Illinois. He opened this match against Ted Hannes 3 in a row. 4th frame now. Could take a 36-pin lead. Instead, leaves the 2, 4, and 8. Of course, that sigh really tells exactly how he feels. He is the 3rd seed out of this huge field that has come for 8 years now to contest the Choice Hotels event. Just gets them. Right bow.
Thank you, Chris Shackle. With me is the tournament leader, Kevin McGerr. Kevin, you're the tournament leader. Have you ever been in that situation before where you had to bowl just one game for all the money?
Yeah, when I was leader at the Resident Pro, I had to beat Bob Vespi for a title, and you know, obviously that's the position you want to be in. Just bowl one game, and hopefully I can go out and make 10 good shots.
Lanes seem similar. They've been all week long.
They were a little tighter, but when I threw my practice balls, they were starting to hook. The lights had dried them out.
All right, Kevin, good luck. And back to you, Chris. The father of 3 will be ready to go in a minute.
Okay. And Wendy Jaros and Mom here watching them bowl. Now to Ted Hannes, whose wife Julie is watching. Too high.
Chris, I think he thought he had a strike all the way. When you see a player just walking it out as your wife Julie looks on, Ted was expecting that ball to come back, and see, he throws it, he starts walking like, boy, this is solid. And he gets a little more break than he expected, drifts high, the 2 goes around, the 4 doesn't knock it out, and he's trailing by 24.
And marks. Tonight, put some teeth into your Saturday night with the network premiere of Alligator 2, The Mutation, followed by The Commish. It's a night of TV that bites back. Tonight on ABC.
I like the way you say that, Chris. That bite back looked pretty good. Right now, Ted Hannes has got a bite back. Halfway through the match, he trails by 24 pins over a man who's won this tournament before, Steve Jaros.
All right. Ted liked that one. It's his 3rd strike in 6 frames.
Ted kind of checking the scoreboard. The scoring of bowling so interesting. If Ted trips out that 4-pin in the 5th frame, he only trails by 3. However, it's 24. Jaros up in the 6th can make it 34.
Come on.
All right. Despite success on the tour when he does bowl, Steve Jaros does not compete on a regular basis, but maybe that frequency rate will change.
Well, basically the reason that I haven't been out here that much, for the last 4 years I've been operating a pro shop at home. It's taken up quite a bit of my time, and it's given me a little bit of an opportunity to work a little bit sharper on my game, so I'm a little bit fresher when I come out here when I do bowl. However, if I keep up with the success, you may see me out here more and more.
We hope so.
All 3 of these players in today's championship round from the touring side are part-time players who develop their game in the regional program.
Really tuned in to what's happening here in the first match. You'll see what's in and what's out as we'll take a break here in Edmond, Oklahoma, which is the home of the great gymnast, Sharon Miller.
Where once there was one ninja, now there are 3. The original ninja, the first AMF ball to harness the power and hook of reactiphane cover stock. The smooth arcing ninja master, a masterful balance of power and control. And the Ninja Fury, unrestrained in its extraordinary hook and incredible power. The new ninja fighting force from AMF. The power to improve your individual style.
If you're looking into faucets, Peerless means plenty. America's leading do-it-yourself faucet. In hundreds of styles and finishes. All made with solid brass valve construction. And all warranty for as long as you own your home. The best made, best back do-it-yourself faucets in America. That's what Peerless means.
The primetime NFL excitement is back. Bernie Kosar and the Browns tackle Mark Rippon and the Redskins. It's an ABC NFL preseason special Monday night.
Yes, that's football here in bowling. While you were away, Ted Hannes had a strike in the 7th. He has left at 3, 6, 7, 10 in the 8th. Disaster.
Needs to make this to stay in the match.
Oh, yeah. He avoided disaster. Beautifully done. 3 national titles, 10 regional. He wants another one today.
Sends that ball across lane, nips the 3 on the right side, sends it to the left sideboard, comes back and kicks out the 7. If he doesn't make that, it's all over. However, with that conversion, he keeps some pressure on Steve Jaros, who struck in 6 out of 7 frames and has a 38-pin lead through 7.
All but the 10.
Something you don't see Jaros do very often is leave a solid tap. He has a speed and an angle and a release, much like Mike Albee, who won last week at Wichita. They have that medium speed, 15, 16 miles an hour, and when they can keep it in play, they don't drive the pins over the top of each other. As you see here, him leaving the solid 10, he quickly up and converts.
If you just joined us in our very first televised match head-to-head, Gene Stus and John Handegard representing the seniors, the best of the seniors here in the Choice Hotels Summer Classic. Stus won 202 to 183, earning the right to be in the challenge match, which follows this classic championship run for $25,000, winner take all. Steve Jaros bowling Ted Hannes, the winner to meet our tournament leader, who Bo just talked to a moment ago, and he's a great one, Kevin McGerr of Nebraska.
Well, Jaros just almost perfect throughout the game. Started with 3 in a row and then got left a 2-set 4-8, and he converted that. 3 more in a row, solid 10. He looks to the sideboard as you look at Ted Hannes with that serpentine 3.5-step delivery, which has served him well, but he's struggling in this match. He has an outside chance, which just went by the boards.
I just want to show off. Can't win, that's for sure.
He says, I want to show off that I can make that. He made the 3, 6, 7, 10 last frame. You see him cutting high here. He leaves the 3, 4, 6, 7. And the technique necessary to make this is very similar to the last split he made. Get to the right of the 3, slide it into the 4-7 zone.
Or a double-barreled shotgun.
I think he has a better chance with that, especially to win the match.
Okay. So when you finish third in the Choice Hotels Summer Classic, it'll be worth $11,000. In front of the daughters of the proprietor, Richard Altman, Steve Jaros.
Well, Jaros has a potential 256. Ted Hanna's, you see, is immersed in perspiration, a possible 192. Now make it 182. Good performance by Ted. A part-time player. Ted loves the inside line. He was kind of forced to the outside line by heavy oil condition today. But he can play anywhere. He's going to be happy with a solid third-place check.
This is our 23rd telecast of 1993 and our last until January 22nd of 1994. So it's a 182 for Zanesville, Ohio's Ted Hanna's.
Haven't seen many high games in today's going. Even the early preliminary action this morning with both the seniors and the touring players. Jaros is right on track.
So there's the winner going into the final with a lot of money. This week, Choice Hotel International's Tip of the Week features a Weber family comparison.
ABC Sports presents a winning Never Gets Old bowling tip brought to you by Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels. Here's bowling great Dick Weber.
As many of us get older, the cliche, like father, like son, sometimes comes into play. That's not quite true in the Weber household. My son Pete, who is a Triple Crown winner, has a completely different style than I did when I was his age. Pete's style is to overpower the ball and crank it. My conservative style featured more finesse. The height of his backswing is nearly over his head, while mine was about shoulder high. And his slide to the foul line is much longer than mine due to the speed of his approach. One thing I can say, now 30 years later, is that I have not had to change my conservative style due to my age. I really don't know how long Pete can maintain his overpowering style without making any adjustments. So for you seniors who have a conservative style and watch these young crankers in awe, remember, winning never gets old.
Look for future ABC Sports winning Never Gets Old bowling tips brought to you by Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels.
There are gut balls and gutter balls, and sometimes the trophy falls. But no matter what, you'll love the bowlers who have it all. On ABC Sports Home Video, Bowling the Perfect Game. Call 1-800-4-ABC-VCR to order bowling's colorful history. Narrated by Chris Schenkel and Nelson Burton Jr. Charge it on your Visa card for only $14.98 plus $3.95 shipping. That's 1-800-4-ABC-VCR.
You know, I'm always teaching bowlers how to put fingers into the shot, not just the ball. But you can also use your fingers to save money. If you're 50 or over, just call 1-800-4-CHOICE, and you can save 30% at Choice Hotels like Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep. 30%. Now that's what I call aiming for the pocket.
Travelers 50 and over save 30% at Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels.
Chili, fried coffee.
You better add on some Tums.
On the house.
Except these aren't Tums.
Same thing.
You got them all mixed up.
I told you they're all the same.
Listen to me. Tums has calcium. Is this calcium? No, it uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. This here, Original Roll-Ins, uses an aluminum salt. The only one of these that helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need is Tums.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Insist on calcium-rich Tums.
The The Choice Hotels Summer Classic. The championship phase for the touring pros. This is the way it's gone. An earlier roll-off, and now just a moment ago, with 9 strikes, Steve Jaros defeating Ted Hannes, 255 to 182. The championship match coming up. And the senior pros were here. We enjoyed seeing Gene Stus and John Handegard go head-to-head. Stus winning it 202 to 183, and you see how the roll-off went earlier today. It was a wonderful and complete field here in Edmonds at Boulevard Bowl. Nelson?
You're right, Chris. It was a long tournament. It was 56 games. Had a big tournament field this week of 238 players. Richard Altman likes the scores a little tough. As you look at some of the background shots of some of the players that finished in the tournament. Let's see, Albee was in there. Weber just missed. Rich Aboud, a solid year. Mike Miller, Mike Shady. Wiseman on the comeback trail. The big guy, Kelly Kaufman, Player of the Year, Ferraro. An amateur in 15th. The King, 16. The Legend, 17. Curtis Odom. Lefty Andy Nair has always done well. Pete McCordick, a cameo appearance. Hugh Miller was up there. Deadeye. Mark McDowell and Ken Moscato round out the top 24, Chris. And now we can take a look at some of the power rankings for the players as you look through the year. Walter Ray Williams Jr. just dominating the PBA Tour. Look at it. He has almost a 600-point power rating over Amleto Michelli. And here's the other 5 players in the top 5. And Chris, we have some tournaments scheduled later on in the year.
That's right, and the tour itself moves to Grand Rapids, Michigan next week. But ABC Sports will resume coverage of the 33rd consecutive season of the PBA Tour on Saturday, January 22nd, in Lakewood, California, to kick off the 1994 season. The applause now is for the Classic Championship match. The tournament leader, Kevin McGerr of Lincoln, Nebraska bowling, not too far from Norman, Oklahoma, where many OU Nebraska games were contested. After a wait, he's ready.
I have to admit that the touring players, the younger guys, their ball looks a little different going down the lanes than some of those seniors, but the true story will be told in our final game following this championship match. Now, Jaros, who has won this tournament before, opens the championship game in the touring division.
He had 9 strikes with his 255 win over Ted Hannes, and he opens with the one. It is all even. Monday night, primetime NFL action is back on ABC Sports. In a preseason special, the Cleveland Browns invade RFK Stadium to tackle Mark Ripien and the Washington Redskins. Live action begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, Monday night on ABC Sports.
Our production assistant, Rico Labe, could give us some insight on the Skins, a former player with them.
And I quickly have to add, Tom Gatewood, our floor manager, played with my alma mater, the New York Football Giants.
Surrounded by football stars, but there's a lot of bowling talent out there right now as Kevin McGerr has opened this championship game with a strike, looking for a double.
Well, we got a little sleeper 8 here with the 2 in front of it for the tournament leader, Kevin McGerr of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Just a super style by McGerr. 4.5-step delivery. Look at how steady his head is. Everything in perfect position. Driving straight through the foul line on balance. Very aggressive with this shot. Just a little hard. Breaks down the 2-8-10. But as Chris said, he gets the 10 out here and still has a difficult 2-8 spare. Nice shot.
Kevin and his wife, Lori, had twins last June to join their 4-year-old sister. He says it's been absolutely brutal. It's chaos with those twins.
And there's the wife. Lori just coming down, rooting her husband on, hoping he can win his first national title. Third frame. Hello, good break there. 2-pin trips out to 4.
The Cornhusker.
Third pin on the left-hand part of your screen. 2 pin to the sideboard, trips behind the 7. Bingo, knocks out the 4. That's the kind of strike that pros need to shoot some big games because they can usually carry the light hits with their power.
Here's the Illini representative on the PBA Tour, Steve Jaros.
Well, we almost saw the split that Hanna's had last game. The 3, 6, 7, and 10 gets a terrific breaks as he pushes out the 7 pin with the 4. There it goes. Cross lane with a straight shot to convert the spare.
This is the Classics Championship match. The winner will go then against the senior champion, who in this case is Gene Stus, Gene having defeated John Handegard, and that's for $25,000.
Here you are, leaders by round. 32 games of qualifying, all being led to qualifying, then 24 games of match play. Every round was 8 games. Kevin McGerr turned out to be the tournament leader. Right now he is trailing by 7 pins, 4th frame.
We're in Edmond, in the state of Oklahoma. Oklahoma certainly has a rich sports tradition, but it is rich in culture, too.
Want a taste you can't resist? There's no bag chip you can pop like this. Chips and bags got busted pieces. Brings you down with all their greases. Jalapenos can't stop. Pop the Pringles can't. You got the Zack, you got the bunch. For a whole lot of taste of the Pringles crunch. You got the duck-bill lizard too. Only Pringles rings taste like this to you. The Pringles can't stop. Pop the Pringles can't. So can those bags of fresh whole chips. Nothing like Pringles crush your lips. Yeah, once you pop, you can't stop.
You're looking at tinea pedis, commonly known as athlete's foot. But what's not commonly known is many types of fungus cause it. And to cure it all, you've got to kill it all. But today, there's a full prescription-strength medicine, the one most recommended by doctors, Lotrimin AF. The broad-spectrum power of Lotrimin AF doesn't just get some athlete's foot fungus, it kills it all. Lotrimin AF, the cure that gets it all.
Olympic medalists and world record holders take off in one of the biggest international events in sports. Coverage of the World Track and Field Championships begins next Saturday on ABC.
2 of the 3 key people in this Choice Hotels Classic and Challenge. Barry Smith on the right, Choice Hotels Senior Vice President of Marketing, a native Texan here in Oklahoma, and Steve Parker, Choice Hotels Vice President, USA Marketing. And McGerr does it again as we go to Bo.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. Our seniors champion, you're going to go against the winner of this, the touring player. Now, last year when he came to this situation, Gene, you kind of got waxed in the challenge match. Any different strategy this year?
Well, I feel I got a game under my belt this time. They don't have the complete advantage. I know a little bit what the lanes are going to be out there, and I'm just going to be freewheeling. I'm free and loose right now.
Any fear of the young guys?
Oh, yeah. Their kids are tough. I mean, they're absolutely awesome.
All right. Well, good luck, Gene. I think you can do it. Back to you with the championship match, Chris.
Okay. And Kevin McGerr of Lincoln, Nebraska, the tournament leader, is still up. He is trailing by 1. Now he has this 3, 6, 9, 10 to cover. And he does. Shooting spares. Separates a lot of bowlers. That is consistent spare making.
Boy, you're right about that, Chris Schenkel. Without a good spare making technique, you cannot survive on the tour. The obvious is you need a great strike ball. You need power, but especially a guy like Jaros, he's a great grind-out player. He likes the lower, tougher scoring condition, and that indicates to me he is very disciplined and patient. Boy, he got ripped on that one.
Come on.
So what I say. Come on.
Well, we're seeing that more and more often. The ball just grinding through the 3-pound, 6, 7, and 8-ounce pins, showing no respect for the 5, and it chops right off the 9.
Oh, do you realize that there is a possible difference of 45,000 winning or finishing second here? Because you only get 20,000 if you finish second, but if you won, you get 38 plus 25.
I'll add to that, Chris. I realize that now because both these players have to qualify for the General Championship Tire Series, so you can add another paycheck to that.
Oh, yes.
So this is a big game and another big one to follow.
That was horrible.
3-10.
Well, Steve Jaros called it. That was horrible. Left the target, slow, 3-10. He'll be across lane, needs to have the ball deflect off the 3 and into the 10. Oh, we've seen guys slide by all those spares on the right side. Handegard by the 6-10. We saw Hannah slide by the 3-pin in a split-making attempt, and now here Jaros in the championship match for 38 grand opens the door for Kevin McGerr, who now leads by 12 pins, 6th frame.
Kevin McGerr comes center stage today. Here's a little of his background.
Well, it started in college at Nebraska. Bill Straub was coaching there, and he helped me a lot. Bowling the regionals, you know, it keeps you sharp to the point where you think you can come out here, but I try and bowl most of the majors, and the ones that are close to keep me, you know, sharp enough to try and take some money from these guys that are out here.
All right, doubling here at a crucial spot to take a 22-pin lead. This is the Classic Championship match. You know, the Oklahoma City area has its share of natural beauty and talent, too.
Usually Johnny sprays the Krylon spray paint and I get it on me. Not this time. Look, no runs, no drips, no errors. Dries to the touch in minutes. The other brand's tacky.
Good job.
I'm a pro.
For a fast, smooth, professional finish, get Krylon.
Look out, America. The Choiceosaurus sweepstakes is here. You could win $1 million or one of 7 $50,000 cash prizes. Pick up an entry form at any Quality, Comfort, Clarion, or Sleep Hotel, and you could be a winner, too.
I just won $50,000. Thanks, Quality Inn.
The $1 million prize is still at large. Will Choiceosaurus bring it to you? Call 1-800-4CHOICE because offers like this happen once every 60 million years.
This is hydroplaning in less than an inch of water, and they're being pulled by Goodyear all-season AquaTread radials. AquaTread's deep groove design channels water away as you drive for outstanding traction. Hydroplaning, AquaTreading. Think about it.
They can talk the talk.
Oh, you can see that!
They can walk the walk. But can they win the crown at the National Summer Basketball Championship next Saturday on ABC?
The Choice Hotels Summer Classic Championship game for all the big money goes into its final frames. Steve Jaros of Bolingbrook, Illinois, trailing by 22, shooting in the 7th frame.
All right, come on. Let's make the spare.
Steve Jaros coming untracked here the last 3 frames as he drifts high, gets a terrific break, breaking down the 7 and 10s pins, leaving the simple 4-pin. He'll trail by 22, 3 frames left for the championship.
Tomorrow night, an Academy Award-winning network premiere. Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe star in Mississippi Burning. That's tomorrow night at a special time, 8:30, 7:30 Central. Yes, on ABC.
better.
He's right. Now, in addition to winning this match and $38,000, Choice Hotels will present a 7-day all-expense trip to the Grand Bahamas to the winner. Not bad, Nelson.
Not bad at all. It's a good tournament for me to enter next year, partner.
Yes, do it. He has strung 3 now.
This tournament will be back on our regular series in 1994 in February. We will no longer be here in the summer with the Choice Hotels Classic, and Kevin McGerr, as his wife looks on, if he can nail down a strike here, would become the defending champion because he's in the driver's seat if he can strike. All right, it's still up for grabs. Kevin McGerr, if he spares strikes out, it would be a 225. Steve Jaros, if he strikes out, 224. McGerr looks to the sideboard, gets the score, knows he has to make the spare. Jaros also knows what's in front of him. He must strike. This one is a must for Steve Jaros.
What a double, Nelson.
You're right, partner. He has that real good extension on this shot, the good follow-through. He was on balance, and he's put himself in position where he can now challenge Kevin McGerr. It's the 10th frame. They bowled for 6 days, 56 games leading up to here, 57 for Jaros, and it all comes down to this last frame. Jaros, with a very simple style, will be in this zone right between the second and third arrows. Mandatory that he gets this strike. He'll be in contention.
Richard Altman, the proprietor, Steve Parker, Barry Smith of Choice Hotels, along with all of you, are enjoying this afternoon with a lot of variety and a lot of terrific bowling.
You're right, Chris. And Jaros with a late rush here, as our statistician Butch Soper showed me, minus 31, then minus 21, now 11. One more strike, it'll be just 1 pin. Second ball in the 10th.
38,000 to the winner. 20 runner-up. Winner goes on to the challenge match worth 25,000.
Well, Chris Schenkel, I cannot recall a tie match this summer, but this has all the signs of being a tie. If Jaros strikes on his final shot here, it'll be 224. It would force Kevin McGerr to strike and spare to win it all. Anything less, a possible tie or even a loss. It's up for grabs.
Remember, Jaros has won here before.
Hey, partner, he can do no more than that. That was a great performance.
It truly was, with a big 224.
He has put the onus on McGerr. McGerr must strike on this ball to win it in regulation. If he gets 9 spare strike, we'd have a tie and a 2-frame roll-off. This is the shot.
Boy, that's a many $1,000 shot. Woo.
He has never thrown a bigger ball in his life than that one. Now what faces him is strike or spare to win. If he happens to get an open and it's 9, we'd have a tie. An open and it's 8, he would lose. So it's not over yet. He knows that he's taking his time. Credit Kevin McGerr with a very cerebral shot.
Back-to-back weeks with pressure. 300 to 279 last week. Mike Albee over David Ozio. Now difference of 43,000, winning or losing.
Chris Schenkel, he has left the 2-4-8-10. Now what faces Kevin McGerr is he must make the 2, 4, and 8. Forget the 10-pin. Go for the tie. That's exactly what it is. Steve Jaros looks at the scoreboard. He says McGerr must get 3 pins to tie. Let's watch. All right, here's what happens now. It's a 224 tie. We're going to bowl the 9th and 10th frames. Steve Jaros will get up and bowl 1 frame. This is for the championship and $38,000. Jaros will bowl 1 frame and sit down. Kevin McGerr will get up and bowl 2 frames, similar to the 9th and 10th, and then Jaros will complete it. If they tie after this 2-frame roll-off, we'll just do it again. Here we go.
The PBA, all its excitement. So, he tightens the screw once again.
Boy, he's come on with a rush. Let's see if McGerr can collect his thoughts. 2 frames. Ooh. The soft 10 has the head pin go to the sideboard. He gets caught over in the 4-7 zone, and the scout of Chris Schenkels does not come around. Mandatory that he make this spare.
$20,000 if you lose this roll-off. $38,000 if you win. Then a chance to go against senior Gene Stus for $25,000, winner take all.
And the experience, either negative or positive, of winning your first championship. Now, this is pretend this is the 10th frame. This is what it's counting. If he strikes on this ball, he'll go back up and shoot again. He's got a spare working. Big trouble. 3, 6, 9, 10. That'll give him 16. If he makes the spare and strikes, it'll be 36. Jaros knows that he's in the driver's seat at this point.
Very emphatically covers them.
Well, the tournament leader needs a good break somewhere, and he didn't go as wide as he wanted. He covers that spare on the outside. With a strike, he would finish with 36. That would make Steve Jaros get a spare in 7.
Little bump or 2 here and there. So it's a 36 in the 2-frame roll-off for our tournament leader, Kevin McGerr.
Steve Jaros, to take all the cash, the $38,000, and go against Gene Stus in the challenge, needs a spare and 7. Anything less, McGerr wins the championship.
All right. 3rd seed surviving this morning's roll-off. He had work to do early, Bo.
You're right,
Chris. He comes back, and later in the day.
He was here at 9 o'clock. Kevin McGerr can only hope. Jaros needs just 4 pins to secure his 2nd Choice Hotel Championship. A nice trip to wherever you said it was, Bahamas or Hawaii. They have choice hotels everywhere. And a chance for $25,000 more in the challenge match. There it is, a lock.
Oh, yes. 9 and a winner. Steve Jaros, 49. Kevin McGerr, 36. The Summer Classic champion is Steve Jaros of Illinois. ABC Sports presentation of Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message. A word from our stations.
When you're thirsty, you need a diet squirt. Because there's nothing like our refreshing blend of citrus flavors. Give your thirst a diet squirt.
The secret to a strong finish is endurance. Introducing High Endurance, new from Old Spice. A breakthrough deodorant that doesn't wear out like the other guys. Here's proof. This is a day's worth of our deodorant. See how it outlasts the leading stick even after 24 hours? Now that's endurance. For the longest lasting, hardest working, the best deodorant stick, demand proof. Get new High Endurance from Old Spice. You won't go far without it.
At the first tickly itch of athlete's foot, get an X. Killing those grungy fungi before they get racket and burning. Go get that can now, or else don't blame Desonex.
Sunday.
Where does it come from? All this hatred.
At a special time.
You'd kill Frank? Is that what you're saying?
A network television premiere.
We're here to protect Anglo-Saxon democracy and the American way.
Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe. Mississippi Burning Sunday. Parental discretion is advised.
I don't believe it.
$20 million?
Are you kidding me?
Now all we need is a little luck.
The Pennsylvania Lottery's Super 7 jackpot, now worth $20 million or more. Play smart. Play early.
Can Texaco System 3 gasolines help make a difference in performance?
System 3 performs in a car the way I perform in a car.
With System 3, anybody can perform like Mario Andretti, but not in my county.
Every grade of Texaco System 3 performs in cars both new and old.
They do? Well, no wonder we're getting the horsepower we should be getting. Isn't that right, Afton?
Count on System 3 for performance in your car.
Dad, could you drive like Mario Andretti?
This is WHTM Television.
The excitement of the PBA continues. In a tie at 224 and then a two-frame roll-off, Steve Jaros, who won here in 1991, defeats Kevin McGerr by a score of 49-36 after the earlier action you see on our Touring Pro rundown. The senior pros were here as well, and after an early morning roll-off, Gene Stus met the points leader, John Handegard. Gene won at 202 to 183, and now for $25,000 goes against Jaros. Jaros won $38,000 for winning the Classic, plus a 7-day stay at the Grand Bahamas, courtesy of Choice Hotels. Pretty good deal.
Not so bad. This could be the big payday, obviously, for both players. But Stus has only secured $7,500. He'd like to take that extra $25,000 home and a little pride for the Seniors Tour. He was in this position last year, and he just got murdered by Monticelli. Let's see if he's learned anything.
Second Fox Scout, as the son of Jim Thorpe, Jack Thorpe, is in the audience.
Whew. Carmen Salvino used to call this the decoy shot. He acts like he's got 9, and here comes the 6-pin around and takes out the 4. He opens with a very fortuitous strike.
Shot, man. Come on.
A little pep talk there. 310.
High risk, high reward type of game for Steve Jaros. One of his other championship round appearances, he bowled a 129, and yet when he's got it, he is hot as they can come.
Couldn't fit it between.
I think I'd learned to make that already.
Second time he's left it, he slid by it the first time and then gets too much of the 3-pin on the second one. Remember, $25,000 bonus at stake in this challenge. Just a super style of Jaros. very conventional. Starts around the middle of the lane. He's going to drift around the 30th board. He'll be around the 12th board at the arrows. A shot's very similar to this.
And then a 9.
Okay. That was close.
That's an easier spare, though, Steve.
Okay, this is a challenge head-to-head match. Gene Stus. Strike up. Gene and his wife Sally both worked years and years for General Motors. Been married 20 years. They met working for that huge company.
And he's banked some money. He won $110,000 in a single game last year for bowling a 300 in the championship round. And on a sidebar interview, he says he invested some of that in General Motors. He thinks they're sharp.
He looks wealthy with that suntan and, you know.
Studley Gene Stus, a very likable guy, a very powerful man, and he sure knows how to guide that bowling ball. There's probably a lot of players my age that are glad he didn't bowl out here on the regular tour and kept that job, because he'd have waxed a few of us.
The senior touring pro who lists one of his away from bowling hobbies, working around the house.
That was not that bad.
Well, he's talking about the execution not being that bad. The result, however, doesn't justify a good shot as he sees it going wide, cutting right through the middle. Tough split. Chris, while we got a moment here, I know we come back on January 22nd with the PBA Tour, but I'll see you August 21st in Indianapolis for the benefit of the Haskell Indian Junior College in Lawrence, Kansas. Looking forward to it. A lot of stars there. Pete Fountain, Phil Harris, and all your buddies. And I have to admit, I'll be there too. And it's also for your 70th birthday, Pat.
Oh, it is?
It is. Congratulations. Now, fourth frame, Steve Jaros.
Okay. Things aren't like they were earlier for Steve.
Well, remember in our King of the Hill matches earlier
Yes.
in the year how we had let down by the tournament champions? Seems that the same kind of luck is facing right now Jaros as he's struggling.
So this is our challenge match worth $25,000 to the winner. Today's championship trophy is a replica of James Earl Fraser's End of the Trail. You'll see a...
I really didn't want my husband to color his gray hair.
But then I discovered this, the hair coloring called Just for Men.
And now he looks better than ever.
Simply apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Just for Men blends away the gray for a totally natural look. No wonder 8 out of 10 women prefer the Just for Men look to the gray look.
It's like you took off 10 years.
And in just 5 minutes.
Just for Men. She'll love the way you look.
Where once there was one ninja, now there are 3. The original ninja, the first AMF ball to harness the power and hook of reactiphane cover stock. The smooth arcing ninja master, a masterful balance of power and control. And the Ninja Fury, unrestrained in its extraordinary hook and incredible power. The new ninja fighting force from AMF. The power to improve your individual style.
The primetime NFL excitement is back. Bernie Kosar and the Browns tackle Mark Rippon and the Redskins. It's an ABC NFL preseason special Monday night.
We are back. Striking a spare for Gene Stus while we were away. He has a 34-pin lead. Spare up now Steve Jaros, shooting on the right lane. As we're going beyond our time frame, we want to have a chance to run down all the great technicians, production talent that have made our 32nd year successful again. Wish we had time because they deserve lots and lots of plaudits. But we do want to say so long to Jack Brandis, our audio man, who's been with ABC 35, Marvin Crinch 33, and Steve Wolf 15. Marvin Gench, Steve Wolf, and Jack Brandis have made my job enjoyable and very easy. Bo will miss him.
I second that, Chris. Been surrounded by great talent, and we still have some great talent out there with 5 frames to go. Gene Stus better not let down. He had a 35-pin lead. Jaros has trimmed it to 24. Look at
10.
Well, Gene, those are a little wild there in the 5th and 6th frames. He got a good break getting easy spares. He left the 6-pin in the 5th frame. He's got the 10 here with the spare conversion. He'd lead by 23. But Jaros is creeping up.
You know, Gene is really hungry because he hasn't won since May of 1992. But this year, get this, he has 2 seconds, a third, a fourth, and a fifth, and has earned $41,000 on the senior tour.
Well,
plus $7,500 today.
You bet. And he's the underdog. But I remember my daddy always said it's all right to be the underdog if you're really good. And Gene Stus is really good. Lot left in this game.
Well, the Burton household are all Hall of Famers. Talk about class.
Well, Gene is going to ease away with 3 consecutive spares here and hold his lead. However, Jaros has gotten zeroed in the 5th and 6th, and he'll have something to say about it when he gets up.
I wonder if Jack Brandis, our audio expert, will miss our pipes in his earphones as he writes gain on us.
Woo. Jaros looked lost for 3 frames. Now he is struck in the 5th and 6th with a 3rd consecutive strike and cut the lead of Gene Stus down to 12 pins, 7th frame.
Jack Brandis in my IFB earpiece just said, "What do you have, Chris, in your pipe?" Nothing but vocal cords and a lot of luck.
Well, Jaros came from behind to win the Choice Hotel Classic by defeating Kevin McGerr as Steve's wife looks on, Wendy, and he's coming from behind in this match.
Come on.
He's a closer, that's for sure. Like all Illini, they come from behind.
Well, it's down to 2 pins, and he's kind of caught Gene Stus by surprise. There's $25,000 winner-take-all in this match, so time to get to the whip.
Hurried it maybe a little, coming up high.
And it has left himself a difficult double wood spare, the 3-9. And what makes it extra difficult today is that if you send the ball real wide, it slides by the 3-pin. We've seen that happen a number of times in split attempts. If you don't get it wide enough, it'll hook by. So he has to nail the 3 right on, and the match would be dead even. You know, we could have another tie here, partner.
As if one's not enough.
Well, we have plenty of time.
Oh, sure we do. Yes. Our producer, Carol Letty, moaning. Doug Wilson, our director, here in our spring tour. Larry Cam, of course. Down the road all winter.
Match even, 9th frame.
But I'll tell you who's getting the headache when we run over. Our executive producer, Jack O'Hara.
That's what he's paid the big bucks for.
Oh, it is?
All right, Jaros, 4 strikes in a row, can take the lead for the first time in the match. 9th frame.
Could have been a lot worse.
Wow. He's right about that. He could have left the 2-4-8-10, and that's the shot that McGerr left to open the door for Jaros to win the Choice Hotel Classic and 38 grand. And now, right now, he'll trail by 1 pin, 10th frame for 25 additional thousand.
Steve Jaros, who reminds me of a right-hander, Johnny Petraglia. Many of the same mannerisms.
And if he has the same profile as Petraglia, he'll throw a strike here. Brag's one of the toughest in the clutch. And right now, it is the clutch. 25 grand at stake. Trails by 1 pin, 10th frame.
This match, winner take all, 25,000. This man has won 38,000 already by winning the Choice Hotels Classic Championship.
This match yet to be determined. Jaros can retake the lead with a second strike here in the 10th. He trails by 1, can lead by 9.
This being our 23rd and final telecast this year, we thank all the PBA staff out here on the tour, led by Kevin Shippey.
Scoreboard has Jaros leading by 9. If he strikes, he would finish with 214. That would force Gene Stus to get 2 strikes to win. What Stus needs will be determined by this shot of Steve Jaros.
Commissioner Mike Connor watching this shot with you. Look at that. 214 for the Classic champion. There's Mike. Checking that score sheet to make sure he's there with Barry Smith and Steve Parker.
Gene Stus must strike on this ball. He says make a good shot. He has to strike.
Good shot.
Gene Stus, look at this. Here's we go. You see the 6-pin doing the damage? Goes into the right channel, just gets enough kick. That's reciprocity at its best, because he left 6 of those to lose last year. Now he's put himself in a situation. Strike he wins, 9 spare he ties, 8 he loses. Great possibility of another tie.
That's a winner. 25,000 to go with 7,500, which he won earlier, in defeating John Handegard. 32-5 for this 53-year-old from Allen Park, Michigan. And we will be back.
When we asked some denture wearers why they don't use an adhesive, they didn't have a lot to say. Don't need it.
My dentures fit fine. No problems here.
But after we gave them Fix-A-Dent, they just couldn't say enough.
It's amazing, the difference.
Even the tough places feel terrific.
I didn't know they could feel this good.
It's almost like I have my own teeth back.
Now I feel comfortable getting close.
It's a great new feeling of security.
Comfort.
Confidence.
I just plain forget I have them.
That's because Fix-A-Dent adjusts to the unique contours of your dentures and gums, forming a thin, powerful seal for a better hold than you ever thought possible.
I'm not afraid of getting close to people anymore.
I could always eat steak. Now I can enjoy it.
I could just kick myself for not doing this sooner.
Find out for yourself what it feels like to Fix-A-Dent and forget it.
You know, I'm always teaching bowlers how to put fingers into the shot, not just the ball. But you can also use your fingers to save money. If you're 50 or over, just call 1-800-4-CHOICE, and you can save 30% at Choice Hotels like quality, comfort, clearing, and sleep. 30%. Now that's what I call aiming for the pocket.
Travelers 50 and over say